Okay, so go ahead and get comfortable. So you might sit on a pillow for a moment. You might lie down. We're just gonna take a minute to land, to arrive here, to notice what's going on in these bodies and these minds right now where we are. So you might close your eyes, check in with your breath, maybe wiggle your shoulders, just noticing the connection with the ground, how your jaw feels this morning, the length of the spine, allowing the belly to relax. Checking in with any thoughts or stories that we're arriving with, and then following your own rhythm, we can get ready to move a little bit. So you might transition to standing, or maybe you stay seated or lie down, but really taking some time to follow the transition. So no need to push yourself into some idea of a position, really checking in with what the body's asking for right now, letting the breath lead the way. And feeling the support of the ground, allowing the weight of the body to be supported. And once you've found your way, you can try shaking out your hands and feet. So just letting go of anything extra, any extra energy or stress or anxiety, even extra excitement, maybe. And then you might rub your hands together and start with the low back, with the pelvis. So you might close your eyes here, just taking a moment to notice the shape of the pelvis, the weight of this part of the body, checking in with the low belly, maybe offering yourself a little back rub or exploring with tapping or patting. And you might rub your hands up and down your spine, just noticing the length of the spine, the shape of the vertebra, the connection between the skull and the pelvis. And you might shake out your hands and feet again, rub the hands together, and then bring the hands over the eyes, noticing the breath, letting go of any extra tension around the eyes, behind the eyes. Checking in with the whole area of the face, the jaw. And then as you're ready, going from the head down to the feet, offering touch, movement, attention to the entire body. So you can give yourself a head massage, Checking in with the ears, maybe opening and closing the jaw a few times, tending to the neck and shoulders, and seeing if you can both feel these different parts of the body and still follow the movement of breath as it fills and empties. Playing with the mobility of the arms and shoulders, just checking in with all the different ways that the body can move, noticing each finger, feeling the wrists, maybe the shoulders, arms feel different from each other. Feeling the ribs, the chest, the upper back. Noticing the movement of breath. Feeling the side body. Feeling the belly. Maybe offering the belly some touch, some gentle massage. Checking in with the pelvis, all the muscles around the pelvis, the thighs, feeling the legs, moving the ankles and feet and toes around. Seeing if there's any connection with breath, even all the way down in the feet. And then following any last wiggles, anything that feels really good for you. And doing something to warm up the hips before we explore a little bit more stillness. So as you're ready, we can transition to sitting or maybe lying down. So again, really allowing yourself to find your way there. You might close your eyes, follow the breath. And once you've found a position that feels good for you, you might sit up on a pillow or a chair, maybe lie down. Just finding a place where your spine can be long. You might rock your pelvis forward and back, side to side, just checking in with the weight of the head, the connection between the pelvis, the spine, the shoulders, and the skull. And finding a place where all of your bones really feel supported by the ground. So allowing the bones to be stacked up over each other. And then you might close your eyes, noticing the breath. Allowing the jaw to relax. Letting go of any extra tension in the shoulders, around the eyes, behind the eyes. And softening the belly, especially the low belly, the pelvic floor. letting the breath be long and slow. Feeling as the breath fills up the whole center of the body, lengthening the spine, expanding the ribs, the belly, the pelvis. And then letting the body grow heavy, letting go of any extra tension and finding the support of the ground. If it's helpful, you might count your breaths. So you can go from 1 to 10, just noticing when the mind wanders and bringing the attention back to the breath, back to the sensations of the body right now. So today we're bringing extra attention to boundaries and fluidity. So just noticing the skin, the outside part of the body, the sensations of the air on your skin, temperature, the texture of clothing, and then noticing the air outside the body and feeling how air travels inside the body. Feeling the sensations inside the nose, the throat, down through the chest and belly. Feeling the wave-like undulations of breath, moving the bones, moving the organs, stretching the tissues. And you might even see if there's an awareness of the fluid body. Maybe noticing the saliva inside the mouth. Noticing if there's any sensation of fluids moving around inside the body. Noticing the waves of breath going up and down the spine, moving each vertebra, moving each rib. And checking in again with the jaw, making sure there's no extra working in the jaw. Letting go of any effort in the shoulders, in the belly, and allowing ourselves to be fully supported by the ground. Knowing that thoughts will come and go, and just taking this short break from the thinking mind and bringing the focus back to the sensations happening right now. There might be a subtle awareness of movements in the pelvis as breath fills and empties the body. And then seeing if we can find some enjoyment, even in the stillness, feeling the soft sensuality of breath, giving ourselves this break, this short time, not have to do anything or go anywhere. Maybe even finding a little bit of pleasure in the body, in this time of rest. And just following the next 3 breaths. Noticing the belly expand, the rise and fall of the chest. And then slowly, as you're ready, following some small movements that are wanting to happen in you right now. Maybe there's a gentle rock of the pelvis. Maybe accentuating the movements of the breath, the waves of the spine, the ribs and the pelvis. And you might find some small circles in the spine, maybe circles with the head and neck. You might have your eyes closed just to stay inward and really follow what your body is asking for, what feels good for you right now. Maybe there's an expansion of the arms, of the chest, of the shoulders, taking up space. You might bring one hand to your chest, one hand to the belly, just feeling the breath moving here and letting go of any extra tension. Maybe offering your belly some small circles. Feeling the sensations in your hands, noticing the texture of the belly, feeling the soft tissues, the places that feel fluid, and then noticing the hard bones surrounding the belly. And you might explore the bones in the back of the pelvis, just kind of outlining these bones on the sides of the pelvis, the back of the pelvis, finding the sacrum, maybe offering a gentle rock with the pelvis. Noticing if we can stay with the sensations in the hands, the sensations in the belly and pelvis, and the movement of breath. And you might find the pelvic bone in the front. So just mapping out the pelvis, feeling the fluidity inside the belly and the boundaries of these bones. Finding the hard places and the soft places, and all the movement of breath. And you might explore some movements in the torso, just noticing what happens in the pelvis as you move the torso around, maybe keeping your hands around these different bones of the pelvis, just noticing the soft tissues, the sensations in the muscles here, and maybe even feeling some sensation in the bones. Feeling the length of the side body, the length of the spine. Maybe bringing one hand to the top of the skull and one hand to the front of the pelvis. Just noticing the sensations in the head, the sensations in the pelvis, and the movements of breath. So you might try turning your head from side to side, feeling how far down the spine does this movement connect? Is there a connection between moving the head from side to side and the pelvis? Is there any movement all the way down in the area of the pelvis, in the low belly? Noticing the breath. Allowing the breath to be long and slow. And then maybe closing the eyes, taking a small pause. Feeling the breath fill and empty. And just noticing any subtle changes in the body, in the mind. So I had this idea that we might play with water in a bowl. So if that is possible for you and you have a bowl of water, that's great. And if it interests you and you would like to go fill up a bowl with water or a cup with water, feel free to do that, or you can just imagine water. So if you have a bowl of water, you might bring it in front of you. Noticing the movement of the water, noticing the hardness of the bowl, the container. And then slowly, as you're ready, you might explore dipping your fingers into the water, staying with the breath. And then you might take your fingers out of the water, noticing the texture, the sensations on your hand, the temperature of the water, the places where it moves. And feeling both the boundary of your skin, but also the pores, the places where the water actually absorbs into your body. So you might close your eyes and just explore the connection with water, dipping your fingers and then bringing the fingers out into the air. And noticing if there's connection further than just your fingers. So, what are the sensations in your shoulders, in your neck, Maybe there's even a connection all the way down in your belly. So, allowing yourself to play a little bit, you might scoop up some of the water. You might let it fall down into the bowl, noticing the sound of water. You might try to grab the water with a fist, just noticing what happens. And then exploring with the other hand. And seeing if you can stay with the breath, stay with the movement of breath while feeling the sensations in your hands of the water, feeling the connection with the ground. You might explore dripping water from one hand to the other, allowing ourselves this short time to experiment and play like children. So maybe we don't quite know what the water is going to do, how it's going to feel. You might explore moving slowly and moving quickly, noticing if that changes the breath. And then you might close your eyes, take a small pause, feeling the breath, feeling the connection with the ground. And if it interests you and is possible at work, if you're at work, you might explore the sensation of water on your face. So if your hands are still wet, you might put them over your eyes, maybe dipping your fingers in the water, and just placing the hands over the eyes, noticing the sensations in the skin, feeling the bones around the eyes. The softness and the hardness. And then you might explore softly rubbing the water over your face. And if this doesn't interest you or isn't possible, then you can just explore your dry hands over your face, feeling the sensations in the face, in the jaw, around the nose and eyes. Releasing any extra tension in the face, feeling the weight of the head, the connection with the neck, maybe rubbing the hands over the neck or throat. Noticing the breath, giving yourself an opportunity to explore, to not quite know where the hands will go next, how it's going to feel. Maybe running the fingers through the hair. And then as you're ready, slowly coming to a place of stillness, closing the eyes, maybe bringing the hands to the belly, maybe bringing one hand to the chest. Just feeling the next 3 breaths, noticing any subtle shifts in the body, in the mind. And then slowly, as you're ready, we can come back together for sharing.